it looks like people are on full wets. But in the dry, they qualified Skoltz, PJ, and Josh Hayes.
And then we have Ty Scott, Jake Lewis, and Blake Davis outside of row 2. A little further back, Corey Alexander, who will not be riding today, Kayla Yaakov, T. Hobbs, Torrin Collins, Dave Anthony, just out there, Camp Peterson, Nassani, Black, Enriquez, Sneed, and Owen Williams. Schultes, Magos, Monk, Omen, Allen, and Kevin Horney. And then we have the Leon Bittner, Ivy, and Bean. There's Max Van there on the outside of row 4. Went through those things pretty quick, Greg, so I couldn't get Max in there. So we got him in. It's going to be an interesting race because it's going to start drying out. So who's going to be able to manage these rain tires in wet but drying conditions? We're going to find out right now.
Yeah, you can already see a little bit of dry patches on the racetrack. So here we go. 14 laps now scheduled because of the wet track. And we're away racing.
Man, Ty Scott got a good jump from that second row. I believe he's going to be leading, Greg, almost down into turn number 1 as we're taking a look here. But it's going to be Matthew Skoltz who lets off the lever. Look, Ty Scott, he got a great start, but he's back to third. He's battling PJ up the hill, but it's going to be PJ Jacobson who's going to take that third spot away. And you can really tell from that drone view all the dry patches. So that with all these bikes going through and the sun starting to peek out, I don't think it was quite dry enough, especially down through all here for slicks. So I think rain tires were the tires to be on. So this is going to be a case of managing those tires, especially midway through the race and on.
Yeah, Jay, we know that Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta is a track. If the wind starts to blow, it dries out super quick. We don't really see it from our vantage point, but the track looks like it is starting to dry quickly.
It really is.
And with these rain tires on, it's going to be imperative to try to keep them cool, but so far so good. The other thing too is that some of these riders, a lot of the riders are going to switch their suspensions, either soften things up for a rain setup. So it might be a situation where who's done enough to the motorcycle to get it to the end of the race. But Matthew Skoltz doing a great job right now. Jake Lewis, who is a master in these conditions, now around the outside. So the 85.
PJ was trying to go around the outside of him, and then Jake just let the lever off going down into turn 10. PJ thought about trying to go down the inside of him, wasn't able to make that work. So PJ sees the guy he's been chasing for a long time, the last couple of years. Matthew Skoltz there in first. He wants to get past Jake Lewis, but Jake doing a great job right now.
So Lewis on the drive, of course, he's with the Altus Motorsports crew, and this is his first year on the brand new YZF R9. As now up the inside goes the Ducati. No, so Lewis holds on to position of it. Hey, play MotoAmerica for cash. Superbike, Baggers, and Supersport series are now live on top sportbooks and DFS platforms. Scan the flow code or MXTBets//PlayMA to see what's available in your location. Sign up, claim exclusive bonuses, and make your picks now.
Because this track is drying quickly as Josh Hayes now looks to go down the outside of Blake Davis, which will turn to the inside in the braking zone into turn 10, and he's going to go past the 22 on his R9. We remember him, obviously, at Barber in the Wet, doing a tremendous job. There are 4 riders, though, as Ty Scott on this lap has put some really good sector times in as PJ Jacobson goes down the inside of Matthew Skoltz.
So PJ on the Ray Hall Ducati Moto with XPEL moves his way to second place for the moment, Hannah.
He's incredibly confident in the rain setup that the team has come up with for him.
Oh, and we have a rider down, Altus Motorsports rider.
Looks like I can't tell if it's Nassani or Torrin Collins, so I'm not sure. We know it's not Jake Lewis up at the front. So he is taking all that experience and putting it in. As you see Camp Peterson now, I noticed him moving forward quickly on the 45 HSBK Ducati. You saw him, Greg. Now he has moved himself up into 5th place as he goes past Josh Hayes down the end of the back straightaway. Ty Scott's doing a good job closing up on Matthew. As you can see, he's going to have a go. Take a shot at Matthew Skoltz in the number 7. He does that going down there into turn 10. He makes that pass. Camp Peterson is probably going to attack immediately on Matthew because that's kind of what you want to do. When you get a guy that's in front of you that just gets startled, you want to attack him immediately as well, and that's exactly what Camp P does. So now Matthew has gone from 3rd to 5th in the span of about 3 corners on that number 1. He's going head-to-head now as they go down into turn 1. You can see the bike moving around. See Matthew's bike moving around? That's because of a soft setup and rain tires as well. He would have gone with Ty Scott. So this is definitely costing Cameron a little bit of time as he gets in the draft of that R9 and he pulls out the draft And, you know, I just think braking stability and things like that.
Either. So we may be at the limit of his tires as PJ now in the draft. He pulls out. Side by side they go. Jake goes through the puddle again to try to cool those tires. But we have a lead change as PJ Jacobsen now takes over the spot. We're going to see how Jake Lewis is going to be down into 10. Very aggressive. He slows his Yamaha down. He gets it turned, and he retakes the lead.
Yeah, amazing stuff there from Jake. He's in there a little bit deep. Let's see, does he get? Yeah, he did. He just got out from the gravel and the grass and let a few riders through. So,
yeah, you can see the front end hard braking started.
Yeah.
As Jake Lewis has a look over his shoulder and he sees nothing but Rahal Ducati Moto with Expel. And now, not even looking for that puddle. He doesn't need it. He knows that it's all or nothing now. PJ going around the outside of him. Through the kink they go. Now watch the switchback. Here comes Jake Lewis, hard on braking, but no, he doesn't go to the inside. He must have another plan in mind. Is Lewis going to try to attack him at the bottom of this hill, the final quarter? PJ with a good drive
Just
up and over the hill, just spinning the thing sideways, that dirt track background. Here comes PJ, hard on the brakes down the hill. It looks like he's got it in hand. He squeezes the throttle open, and to the flag he goes, and PJ Jacobsen will take victory in race number 1 here at Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. The final spot of the podium, and it's going to be Ty Scott who brings it home for the Vision Wheel M4 X-Star Suzuki team. Fastest lap of the race on the last lap goes to PJ Jacobsen, a 1:35.954.
but it eventually would be this pass here where PJ Jacobsen goes to the left-hand side of the track, makes his way through, defends down into turn 10 and to turn 12 nicely, gets this thing lit up on the exit of turn 12, and would just get Jake Lewis, who did such a great job today leading that nearly the whole race.
Yeah, so PJ getting it done dirt track style.
We're here with you on MotoAmerica Live Plus. Tyler Scott now finding his spot up there. 3rd place finish here as he collects that trophy. Get to watch on as Jake Lewis gets up to the box as well. Roger, they have another race tomorrow. We know we're going to have we're expecting different conditions. Maybe a little more stability in terms of what the riders and the teams can put out there on the racetrack, and expecting some sunshine.
So I think you got to go back to kind of Friday's notes in the afternoon when the track was really warm and see what kind of changes you made overnight. This race today is not really going to give you a lot of data to look at overnight for race 2 tomorrow if it's dry. Besides a couple riders who, you know, we talk about momentum and confidence. Somebody might have had a really good race today, and that could give them some confidence. Like Max Van, top 7 finish for him in the Supersport race. That's a really solid result.
0.3 of a second over Jake Lewis, who just dominated that. I mean, those one of those races, Jay, where you're like, great for PJ, but a heartbreaker for Jake. But 65 points for PJ Jacobsen, and 13 now behind. Oh, my math was correct. How about them apples? Behind is Matthew Schultz. Josh Hayes still in the mix, 27, tied with Jake Lewis, who moves up. Blake Davis right there.